Another issue I has to do with the Chief Justice, Ghana Bar Association, the noise, the other stuff going on. You see, on this thing, I'm going to be very raw. No, nothing, just for you to understand and appreciate Nema Ekoso and the level of dishonesty and the double standard on the side of so-called intellectuals, some intellectuals in this country. Me ade me mpene se what ye the idea we di kwadwo oh you okay edura abana se na DVD abana oh abana de ye nipa on there that you see voices up in seeking say oh abana de ye nipa pa so I didn't know divorce no. And that is the situation that Ghana Bar Association is finding itself in. In the first place, the question for Bisa, the level of credibility at this institution. Because in the last 8 years, we sat in this country. We watched atrocities upon atrocities upon atrocities. How individuals, the court was weaponized. The mere fact said some of the judicial rulings coming from our courts were devoid of common sense. The public space, was buzzing with a lot of irrational judicial rulings. And people were so much peeved to the extent say the National Security Minister at the time, Kendapa, expressed worry. Catch the judge said, I'm getting the signals. Sa kwanya first of rulings, a man said the be a move one side now. It will throw this country into fire. That was a national security couple at the time speaking. Amidst all this uncertainty and surrounding the judicial system, amidst all the Niamana Ekosuinano, they never uttered a word. We saw how individuals were booted out left, right, center. They didn't. But now here we are. A particular constitutional process has been set in motion. There hasn't been any single lawyer in this country who has been able to pinpoint a single constitutional infraction or occasion in this country since this whole debate about the Chief Justice started. And have challenged everyone. Say, wow, free say some infringement just bring it up. And Ghana Bar Association, the first time they were singing emotional hymns. None of them. And the team premise say in some or more kind of unreason aside raw sheer emotions and none is the same thing because my culture is I'm one of the people my expressive reservations about the 1992 constitution. My culture said a larger portions of that constitution outlive the usefulness and the essence, and that we need to amend. Yes, I say can't say me and you know. Mami or ye Chief Justice and one basemi, not or ye Chief Justice, Constitution or copy, debia or kind or general de bua man for that prison. She knew the infractions, then as a form. Obuna Nigusu and Fana, because my catch is a black man and Onyansa, not Onya to me and any Yansa in a friendly team. The very moment you arm a black man with power, they become arrogant. Ego swells the head, larceny drive the heart, Nyansa nail. Until power and giddy until power and be free in sana nyansa money ni so dark of power and be free in sa. So when that particular space in the buy, we could have discussed all these infractions in the near mind. It was especially about this article. Yeah, they remove justices other people. Clearly you could see that were a problem because may have argued say why say yeah called the obiasem or judiciary. Yeah, the question to constitution said it should be in camera. There were a lot of legitimate concerns. But you see, Obia Bunani Gusi and can't answer me the dear man for my Yababedrua, Ebedru, so no. That is when you are raising these things. Abasa, do you want me to respect you? Absolutely no. Because you are not a credible person. Aya wunti na wuye dede. You the dear man for in the past. You didn't speak, you didn't scream. Adru so I did no what the way a special person a Chief Justice oko wegehe oko legon or ye say I'm say bibi jejemo Adru so no there you what final voice yenye say me say constitution quite clear the processes. And this is not the first time this Omoka said this is the first time a Chief Justice is going to be removed. It's a lie. Constitution doesn't talk about just Chief Justice in Kwao. The frame of that article include judges of the Supreme Court and other judges, lower court judges. Talking about the Electoral Commissioner, talking about the Shraj boss, because new position is at the same level. And to see a Electoral Commission paying, ye Shraj boss paying, ye judges paying at the Supreme Court and High Court to pay. This process that has been activated, it's not a novelty. It is a process that has been activated very long time ago. And Chief Justice here Oswin has been a member of a panel. And during that time, the issue was discussed in camera. Nyansa Mase, oh, Debbie, I don't know, young Fanko TV so. Eba bedru and asamba kwambe san can say then here associations like Ghana Bar Association, always people will tag them as partisan and they don't have credibility. Individuals or women individuals are obia when a partisan alliance and as for and a cloud or judgment or reasoning when it comes to some of these things. And the reason is quite simple. Answer na President Akufo-Addo Ebekono or J petition Professor Kwaku Azan and the command seeking to remove the Chief Justice. President Akufo-Addo J copy no. We never heard anywhere say Chief Justice was given a copy to go and respond to anything. The President forward, according to him, or say he forwarded the petition to the Council of State. Council of State is say your friends a merit behind him, and then it truncated there. So if another person receive a petition, goes through the same process, and they almost say Debbie, you truncate it, you better then all of a sudden, people say, I'm for say, oh Debbie, the fact say you twice on kwa there, wafumemra, emra bang, because wafumemra it means Akufo-Addo, the author trainer, and also from emra. It makes sense. Say Babia Mahama Babeturi, so wafumemra, it means Akufo-Addo, so the OG author trainer, of memra or. So why are we not discussing the content now and some the accusations, because it is already in the public. So why don't you dwell your argument on the substance of this whole petition? Now you say, instead we are kind of frivolous. Why would we or why should we throw a Chief Justice away because of these flimsy excuses in the forum? If you activate that kind of discussion, a conversation, we can have it. But premising it on procedural error, whatever, my catcher say, constitution book when it comes to the removal of Chief Justice and other people, now you need a single legislative instrument and now procedural arrangement to be a step by step. I don't know, you go through and sana you be through and I say you better establish merit in the case. And now why as a Council of State faso there is no procedure. All that the Constitution says that forward to Council of State, let them establish the merit. When they are done, forward back to the President. The President will communicate the funding and take the next line of action. And that's exactly what has been done. And again, committee in New Year, the President has a choice. And you can flip through the Constitution. It's there. Either it's a discretionary injunction on the President, either to suspend or let the person be. It's a choice. My culture said, if I take you back to Akufo-Addo time, Abra announce Eddie Assem to Judge Binum Somako Jim Ponchin and Nasifono. When Premier Fasia was established in the case at the early stage, President Akufo-Addo issued a letter suspending. Let me see if I can find the copy of that particular way for you. Okay. Good. A copy of that particular letter, I think I've gotten it here. The title, President Akufo-Addo suspend 4 High Court judges. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has suspended. I'm not reading this to justify what is happening though. I'm saying that in terms of procedure, this is how I always, and until the Constitution is amended, Untimi nkwatena ba bi nkokra file say obi abumra. To enable a case of alleged bribery and corruption against them to be investigated. A statement issued by the presidency on Wednesday said President Akufo-Addo took the decision on the advice of the Judicial Council given in accordance with Article 146, Clause 10b of the Constitution. So, Samreye, no munyandi judges and assembly. But President Akufo-Addo suspended these 4 judges. Said because Yabo Mudin say, Anas, na establish a premier facie against them, no. That's exactly what is in play. So, said, took or not one thing. Na Samrana, Adewe Kosono, GBA, dear no mokaye. Did they ever voice out on this particular matter? That is what I'm saying. You see, this is a revered association, but some individuals be a tune futurugu huabe ama man for create your mokasetia because you don't represent idea you're supposed to represent. Because this is an emotional bunch of individuals or more party influence and the kind of ideological orientation be or more override their sense of reasoning, that sense of partiality. And you know, they don't care even coming public to embarrass themselves. And now you think this time around, you know, just saying I'm a lawyer, no will push people will share. I'm saying be how. Cultures and the book at Neza Crowley generation when Haman from Fanning Yashi, Farouk Ramon Fanning Yashi said me a lawyer. The only thing that will save you is a Kenyan Sasem. That is the only thing because the public out there, no, some are even more knowledgeable than more super knowledgeable than some of you walking around calling yourself whatever. So when you are dealing with the general public, deal with them with decorum, with respect. Treat them, say no, these people are, some are far advanced in terms of reasoning than we can ever be. So we cannot be throwing our personal wishes on individuals. Say, oh, and because a bad situation. Who cares about you when you are not making sense? And it's the reason why someone cannot fly in the face of any logic. And you listen to public commentary, the criticisms and all stuff people are talking about it, you know, further impede your credibility as well, because you cannot sacrifice your dignity at this altar and expect people will shut up and go. Raise relevant constitutional argument and let's debate it. If you win, people know say yes, Assembly no more can yes, we need to. This time when I will propose a constitutional amendment, this time now Toko no they are not a carpenter. Toko no a carpenter, and Sana yes suspending. Say any amendment be or a man or no. She could have facilitated it. She could have spoken to the president and to initiate the proper procedures. I had just to ensure say some of the constitutional provisions, because me shall say a amendment to our constitution. And no years back, not to no cry Chief Justice. Now me if I saw this thing coming. Makamwasem na wa wote ade nanim de pongo nwa hye wuti da bia ya my lord no hu ya na e kire se wote ho no enye ade papa bi na wo ye enye oman bi na wo som no you are there just selling yourself out. And for me that's my problem. So I think that all these things, the noise, everything around it, people should just shut up and allow the process to roll to its logical conclusion, because at the end of the day, you know, it's not as if say there will not be a conclusion. Say nipa no debema, go and take your job. Udifa, go home. And I'm a culture say, and I'm say onya wise counsel, you know. The nano oye, you know, was saying I don't know how to was from because a grounds for another petition, because the constitution is quite clear on the matter. Say it should be held in camera. The woman took the petition to TV. She discussed it, and on that basis, you know, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana abridged a constitution, a constitutional provision, which is quite clear, by taking the petition to public to discuss it. And the anon backgrounds petition ya we can write a petition on the fact that Chief Justice breached a constitutional provision by taking a petition that the Constitution says must be held in camera and the public discuss it. And the wise counsel, and that's when wise counsel. Again, the whole intention was some kind of emotional blackmailing. Oh, or your bar, oh, munka di mano, oh, and there, sans we are not discussing gender. I know women who are very competent and very intelligent than men. Being a woman is not a weakness. Tetenona no more that mentality say obi or bar. No, and then at Niama say when women are empowered, they can even be far better than men. So being a woman is not a weakling.